chairs aside, did a pretty good day for you guys.
It was, yeah, it was fantastic. We knew Carlton were going to challenge us in certain areas. Their game's in really good order, particularly defensively, and that probably proved itself a little bit early. We had some entries and weren't able to. I don't think we were able to really capitalise, and we weren't able to pin them in the front half. They were moving the ball with ease, really, in the first half particularly, and challenging us. I thought we defended okay, but Curnow was off the chain a little bit early, but we were able to identify a couple of things and fix the game as it was going on, which was really important.
Is that the positive? You had to win it 2 or 3 times, so you knew they were going to keep coming.
Yep.
But you were able to do it when they had a bit of momentum there in that last.
Yeah, typically when we play the Blues, this style of game where one team will sort of get out in front, the other team will come, and you've got to respond, and both teams responded often throughout the day, and it was the same game here last year, round 6 last year, same game down at NG last year. We expect tough battles against the Blues. We know they're a tough team, well coached and well organised.
You're a few down in the midfield, but pretty handy to be able to throw you in.
Yeah, he was reasonable. Yeah. Well, they're both pretty decent players. So it's nice having that piece to be able to shift into the midfield when we've lost a few of our first choice guys. We know he's a great player ahead of the ball, and so that's where we probably would like to keep him out of the ball as much as we can, but some injuries suggested that we needed to move him into the midfield, same as Lockie Whitfield in this game, and both those boys had outstanding games.
I was going to say, do you love it, Toby? The chance to go in there whenever you can?
It's good. Like it adds variety to your game, make it probably a little bit harder to play on. So that part's good. Certainly got work to do as playing as a genuine mid. I haven't done it in about 10 years, so I'm up and down. But when you can sort of come in and out, that helps. And Witters does a lot of hard work, as you would have seen tonight. That really helped me. So it makes you harder to play on, I guess.
Were you surprised how much space you had in the first quarter when you ended up with 2 goals and 11 possessions?
It's hard, like when you sort of exits from centre bounce, which is hard to defend, and when you try and get forward. But I knew, that's footy, I guess. Like it was a bit of transition footy, it was up and down, and you've got to just sort of take your moments.
So your first couple of years in the game, obviously playing purely midfield, is that, when you look back now, 250 games in your career, is that the type of play you thought you'd be? Even you sort of become this forward now, this high mix, but what type of play do you think you were going to be?
When I started, I definitely thought I was a midfielder, and I guess that's what I wanted to be, but the situation arose that sort of had to learn to play half forward, and we had a lot of midfielders, and that's how it sort of evolved from there, and realised like I could do some things that hurt oppositions in the forward line, and bought into that, and I've loved playing there the last 10 years, and it's bloody hard work, and you always got an opponent you got to beat, which put a lot of work into you, so you get your ups and downs, but yeah, that's part of the battle and part of footy.
How much of the opportunity that the guys going out of the side, or any of Darcy Jones getting a few centre bounces today, how much do you use that second half of the season?
Definitely. That's what we've looked at the last half a dozen weeks. With Daniels and Canelio out, and Kelly now out recently, and we lost Finn, we lost McMullen, Stringer's been out for a couple of weeks now. There are opportunities for younger players to come in and experience some different scenarios to what they may have otherwise experienced. And some have been thrown into the games that they may not have played. Cody Angove is a classic example, and we saw his speed and run tonight, and just body lines the ball and just makes stuff up, flicks the ball over his head. It's hard to teach that, but he's got that sort of skill and talent that we allow him to sort of unleash, and we've given him the opportunity, and I think he's grabbed it with both hands. So just those little moments, they'll be really encouraging for our group across the course of the year, but it also builds a bit of depth too that you can rely on and you trust in it. And that's ultimately, as a coach, what you want. You need depth that you can rely on and trust, and I feel like we're building towards having that.
The game was stopped during the first quarter. Toby Bedford had a bit of a stinger in his shoulder. What did you make of that, and where's your stance on it?
It's a really tricky one for the umpires. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't, aren't they? And so Carlton looked like they were shaping out of the contest from memory. It certainly was still in the contest, so I don't think it deserved a composed possession for Carlton. So a ball up, I thought, was the fair outcome, even though they had the ball, so it's kind of a bit tricky, you know. Last couple of weeks, the umpires have been under a bit of pressure around not stopping the play. So what would we expect them to do? Of course, they're going to be cautious. And so I thought they made the right call, absolutely.
Is it something that the coaches can gain a bit? Or saying that
Asking our players to lie down in critical moments during passages of play or something, it's probably not something that will happen. I think there's a fairness with every competitor in this competition, whether they're coaching or playing, that would suggest that they're not going to try and do that.
What about the idea that a player should be forced off the field if the umpires stop it in that situation?
Well, then you're at the discretion of an umpire's assessment of an injury, which I don't particularly like.
Toby, where were you at that contest, and what was the communication if you were close?
No, I think it was next to King, on the bench. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know till you just asked the question. So I thought it was out for a kick, to be honest. So that's about all I know.
So it's clear that we're not lying when we say we don't see it as coaches, just as proof there. Just to clarify that.
What is legally against you to stand aside now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I thought he did really well tonight. After quarter time, I thought he was really good. Mix of talls and smalls. Some really critical spoils. You know, head and shoulders above everyone else, punching the ball out of the defensive or the danger zone. Just to keep playing to his strengths. That's what we ask him to do, and I thought he was really good tonight. I would imagine he'll hold his spot next week.
What did you make?
Whitfield shifting into the midfield too also supported us too. So, we'll have some decisions to make. That's the nature of having a few good players in different spots. Sorry.
What did you make of Kieran Briggs' performance?
Yeah, I thought he's really good. Yeah, I thought he's really good. He competed really hard in and around the stoppage. That doesn't mean he always wins it, but he competes. And then around the ground, I thought he was able to neutralise De Connie. We were a little bit worried coming into this game about him. He's a special player. He can impact games significantly, both at stoppage and around the ground. And he had his moments, and every good player is going to have their moments. But I thought Kieran was able to neutralise them for the most part.
You look at the numbers, Adam. I mean, contested ball with -38.
Yep.
Yeah, you lost previous, lost inside 50s. Was that a concern at all?
It's
in the game
38.
today? Did you feel like that played hard?
Yeah, it was certainly a concern. Sorry, you distracted me with that -38 number. It was a combination of things. I mean, early days it was hard ball gets, then it became a loose ball stoppage game, and then it became free kicks and contested marks. And so I don't know where it finished in the last quarter, but ultimately it was a balance of everything. Pleasingly, we were able to manage that, and so we minimised their contest wins, and then we were able to really challenge them with their attack. And so the contested possession is an issue in that number sense, and certainly we don't want to look like that each and every week, but never really felt like it got out of hand, even though the numbers suggest it did.
How much can you celebrate tonight, Toby? There's quite a few old faces and old friends in the change rooms there as now. You want to play back tonight? What's the plans?
The team is, but I'll stay with the family, come down and catch up with a few family and friends tonight. That's the handy bit about having your milestone game in Melbourne. No one has to fly up, so that's saved them a bit of money. But yeah, it'd be good to say hello to a few people tonight and fly back in the morning.
Thanks, guys.